Hello, everybody. Spider here, the Fight Card Podcast, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. I am here inside the HOJ training facility, being joined by Jimmy the Brick Flick. My man, how are you, bro?
Hey man, doing good. Just enjoying life.
No, by all means, bro. I just want to throw this out there, man, because a lot of people might not know it. You actually made your pro debut here in San Antonio for Bellator years ago, man.
Yeah, Bellator 20. Still to this day, I mean, I was the first person to ever fight and win in the flyweight division for Bellator. Bellator throws on flyweight fights, but they don't have a flyweight champ, never have. But I was the first one to ever fight in the Bellator cage at flyweight and picked up my first win.
No, and by all means, man, because I mean, it was here in San Antonio. It actually happened at the Majestic Theater, which was a horrible spot, man, because of the layout and platform. But that's what they chose. I mean, they were doing that historical thing, and it was nice. But they haven't been here in a few years, man. So maybe after they watch it, they'll come back, bro.
Heck yeah, man! It was a great night for sure.
No, and right quick, man. The other day you actually posted you after a year being retired, man. You finally stepped inside the gym again. And how did that go, man?
Hey man, I mean, let's just say my jiu-jitsu didn't go nowhere. So, just the cardio. It was great just to be back in the environment, see all the kids and all the students, training partners I had. A lot of them are fighting now. Some of them's had a lot of fights. This weekend, a few of them actually be on the card I'm commentating. So that's why I wanted to get back in there and get some work with them. And go and talk to the guys, get back in that environment a little bit. I mean, I'm going to be back on the scene, but everybody's seeing me at the gym. They're like, "Oh, you coming back?" I was like, "Nah, I'm not coming back right, you know." And I don't plan on coming back. So I'm waiting on my book to come out, and then I'm hoping some big things will go on from there.
No, by all means, man. Because for those watching, I mean, you competed for the UFC, took years to finally get in there, man. And after a win, you decided it wasn't for you. And of course, you're gonna talk about. You talked about it before on social media, but the book is coming up, so you're gonna talk about it a lot more on there. So for sure, the ones watching, definitely pick up that book, right?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I'll have more information on getting it out soon. We're working on finishing it up before I can get that pre-order link out. But I'd say hopefully the next 4 months, I'll have it released. It's called The Brick Wall, The Unbreakable Brick. And I just want to tell my story. And you can follow me on all my social media platforms, mainly Instagram. I'm very active on at The Brick MMA. And, if you have any questions, just reach out to me.
No, by all means, man. I wanted to ask you on this upcoming card, man. I mean, of course, you're going to be commentating, so I figured why not? This is going to be for the LFA127 going down this Friday in Commerce, California, man. I'm going to go ahead and do the intros for the prelims right quick, and then we're going to jump into the main card.
Sounds good.
All right, boss. The first one, I mean, this is according to topology, so the fight card might change. You know how that goes. But Brian Dahl making his pro debut against Riley Wilson, 1-0. When it comes to experience, man, I mean, of course, people don't see the amateur record. So, of course, them making a debut doesn't speak justice, right?
I mean, yeah, you don't know, man. You don't know how long they've been training. You don't know exactly what they're doing. It's actually more dangerous, I think, when you start out being 1-0, 0-0. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. It's like bare knuckle now. They got guys that are 0-0, but they might be an 0-0, but they might have 40 boxing fights to your 4 MMA fights. It's crazy, and that's kind of the same way when you got people with 1-0 or 0-0 records.
No, by all means, boss. I'm going to go through the card real quick. I mean, next one up is going to be Aiden Ingram making his pro debut against Steve Mora, 1-0. That's going to be in the prelims for the 135-pound weight division. Luis Swank, he will be taking on Diego Vasquez, 265 pounds, bro. This is for the prelims. Big boys.
Yeah.
Of course, knockout submission. What are you thinking, man?
With the big boys like that, and how many fights they have?
1-0 and 0-0, man. A debut versus 1-0.
That's perfect, man. I think it'll make for a great fight.
No, definitely, man. Like you said, they're dangerous when they're stepping in because now they got to prove something, right? Especially in the pro division. All right, I'm going to go up one more. We're going to go Lisa Maldon. She will be taking on Whitney Piles. This is going to be 125 pounds. 4-2 Maldon taking on 2-4 Piles. Losing record. How does that play when it comes to a fight? I mean, is the one with the losing record kind of like the mentality going to the whole nothing to lose kind of thing, or Or what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, I looked that up. I seen that 4-2 versus 2-4. From what it looks like, it's like 4-2 needs to keep winning to get her record better on the better half at 4-2. And then the 2-4 girl, they're bringing her in and trying to get her a win, but she's either got to prove a point or she's going to be 2-5 and she's just going to be a stepping stone. So they can be very dangerous. And you don't know if they're there for a paycheck or if they're there to prove a point.
No, exactly. And I never thought about it that way, but yeah, because obviously, they're getting paid. But like you said, I mean, it might be somebody that's just not looking to go into the UFC, so to speak, but maybe just somebody that wants to fight and get a paycheck while they're at it, right?
Yeah.
All right, next one up, boss. It's going to be Jasmine Pouncey, 1-0, taking on Giovanna Canuto, 2-0 out of Brazil. This one I'm interested in, 115 pounds. I mean, when was the last time you weighed 115 pounds, bro?
Me, I'm a small guy too. So, but in high school, probably like 9th grade.
And that was during your, I saw those photos you keep posting for your wrestling, man. So, of course, it had to have been those days, right?
Right. Pretty close.
No, definitely, man. We're going to go into the main card, bro. This is going to be Arnold Jimenez, 7-2, taking on Josh Wang Kim, 4-0. 135 pounds, something that's right up your alley, close to, right? Because you competed at that division as well. 3 5-minute rounds. What are you thinking on this card? On this bout, should I say?
Hey, man, I looked up Arnold. He looks pretty solid. He's actually on a 5-fight win streak right now. So that's good. He looked pretty solid. Didn't see much on his amateur career. And Wang Kim, that guy, he's 4-0, but look up his amateur record, and he's 15-1. And he finishes a lot of guys too with not a lot of decisions. So I think he's well-rounded, and I think this is a great matchup for a 4-0 guy and a 7-2 guy on a 5-fight win streak.
No, exactly, man. I mean, there's momentum on both ends. The fact that they're going to open up the main card, of course, that's an extra boost, right? Because now they got to set the pace.
Right, on UFC Fight Pass all around the world. This is great for these guys, especially a 4-0 guy. And like I said, a guy on a 5-fight win streak looking to go 8-2. That's stepping right there at the UFC door.
No, exactly, man. Because like you said, they are on the UFC Fight Pass. And let me throw this in there because the Legacy Fighting Alliance, did you ever fight for LFC, which was here in Texas?
Yes, that's a Legacy Fighting Championship. I took my first loss against Will Capizano. I lost for the LFC 125 title. And then I fought for him again on their last show. I think LFA like 67 or 68. And then that's when Levi Miles beat the crap out of me at 135.
But man, and the reason I bring that up is because, of course, RFA, LFC back then, they merged. Of course, they're the LFA. So just a little history for those watching. I'm going to go up the card right quick, boss. Carly Panglinglian, of course, I chopped up her name. 125 pounds, taking on Victor Rosas. 6-1 versus a 6-2. Once again, experienced lighter weights. Can you expect knockouts or submissions when it's a lighter weight?
Well, with these guys right here and what I've looked up, they are going to be fast, active 125ers. They fought good competition. You got Pangolin. He's coming off of a loss to Charles Johnson, which Charles Johnson's your LFA flyweight champ right now. The guy's killing it. I mean, that guy should have been in the UFC, and I mean, he's at Dana's door, and I'm sure he's getting the calls soon. So that's not a bad loss to have at 6-1. And then you got Victor. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and one of his best losses was to Casey Kenny. And if anybody knows Casey Kenny, man, Casey Kenny's been at 125, 135 or back and forth his whole career. Made it to the UFC at 135 and just been killing it, dude. Fighting legends like Dominic Cruz and stuff. So I think these guys are going to bring the fight, and the winner here could, same thing, man. A lot of these guys are knocking at the UFC door.
No, and one of the things about the being right there, man, is you don't necessarily have to hold a title, because if you're winning and the UFC sees, a card flops and they need a fighter, you get the call and you step up, right?
Or if you just win in good fashion and then step up. That's all it is, man. Win in good fashion.
I mean, for you, of course, you got the title and then you got called. So, I mean, it was kind of nice because you actually got to hold the belt, right?
Well, yeah, that. And then I was hoping to skip the Tuesday night contender, but that was just another step. And it's a great experience. But, when you get the call, it don't matter what it is. You're going to say yes if you're a legit fighter and you want to make it.
No, no, by all means, boss. We're going to go up to the next one. This one's at 155 pounds. Of course, 35-minute rounds. Tommy Aaron taking on Maldon out of South Korea. So I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, man, but 14-7 record from the Korean guy taking on Tommy Aaron at 9-6. What do you have going on that one?
The one thing I noticed about the Korean guy, dude, is he has a loss to Rafael Fizzy, however you say his name, the one that was just supposed to fight Rafael Dos Anjos. So, so he's fought good competition at 14-7. That's 21 fights. He's been pretty active. Looks like he's a tough opponent. And then Tommy, he's 9-6. He has a win over Justin James. And his first fight as a professional was Jacob Rosales. Dude, I like that Jacob kid, and that guy's been on the scene now, making it for a while. He was 4-0 as an amateur. So I think this is going to be a great fight. Both guys are looking for a win, one going 15-7 with a win and one going 10-6 with the win. Like, LFA did great with this card. It is amazing.
No, by all means, man. And the one thing about LFA, they just got back from Brazil. So, of course, they picked up a title holder out there as well. And they're traveling with it, man. So I like it because they're picking up talent from pretty much all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to go on to the co-main event, at 145 pounds. Chase Gibson, 10-5, taking on Javier Garcia, 8-4. 145 pounds, man. I mean, is that what you're walking around at right now?
No, I'm actually bigger than that. I walk about 57. What's crazy actually about Chase, I don't know if you know about Chase, but me and him fought on the Tuesday Night Contender together, and I'm pretty sure Chase even took that fight on short notice against Tucker, and Tucker had to grind out a decision, and it wasn't easy. Chase made him work for it, and then now he's coming off of a win over Ty Clark. If you've seen Ty Clark from The Ultimate Fighter, the dude's aggressive, comes to fight. So I've seen that was a good win for him. He was 5-0 as an amateur. So this guy's riding over 20 fights coming off the Tuesday Night Contender, a win over Ty Clark. If he wins this fight, I see a title fight for him, for LFA. I think this earns him a title fight if he gets this win. He's fighting, how do you say his name? Is it Javier?
Javier Garcia. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Javier is coming off a loss to Bruno Silva. His last loss was Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva did he win the LFO title or did he just fight for it?
No, he fought for it as far as for the contention.
So Bruno Silva, he's also beat my boy AJ Cunningham, dude. And if you know AJ Cunningham, that guy, he's coming up, and I like AJ Cunningham. He's also got a 6-5 amateur record. So both these guys got over 20 fights going into the co-main event, and I think Javier needs to win a little more. But I think Chase has got more experience, and I think a win right here gets him a title shot for LFA.
Well, by all means, man. And that's the one thing with it. As far as that was for the co-main event. The main event, of course, is going to be for a title fight. We have Ozzy Diaz, 6-1, taking on Bruno Assis, 12-5. So experience. I mean, the guy from Brazil, of course. I don't know if they brought him from their last event when they were out there, but what are you looking at for this one, man? 185-pound title.
Well, Diaz, as a professional, the only thing I didn't like about him is his losses to a guy that really never really did much, And so I just feel like maybe that was a time in his pro career. A lot of stuff was going on. We don't know what goes on during fighters training camp. Looked up his AMI record, though, and he's 7-2 as an AMI and has a loss to Dominic Reyes, man. So then he's fought good experience, So I didn't fight some big names. But then I go over there and I look at Bruno at 12-5. And he's on a 3-fight win streak, and he has losses to Paulo Costa, and I'll probably say his name wrong, but Andre Muniz,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, that's two great fights. Also, like I said, he's riding a 3-fight win streak, and a title right here for Bruno gives him a shot to just go right into the UFC like I did after I won the LFA title.
Exactly, man. And I'm kind of glad you got on this with me because there is a lot of people that you've known, the process that you've known as, of course, yourself, fighting for years, finally getting that call, going to the UFC and then finally hanging it up. Of course, let me ask you on that note, I mean, this LFA127, 10 years from now, I mean, we're looking back then when you made your pro debut, were you already set on making a career out of it?
Oh, that was my goal. At 17 years old, I made the stupid decision of dropping out of school and moved down to Corpus Christi, Texas, because my dad was working there. I was born and raised here in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. My dad was working down there. He threw me in a gym with Hector Munoz. Some people know down there in Texas. Hector made a statement for himself in the MMA and the jiu-jitsu community and still does. And I love Hector, man. And I think Hector's made me who I am as a jiu-jitsu, as a wrestler. He turned me into the Khabib wrestler and the Damian Maya jiu-jitsu. That's why I've always said it. You know, I had the wrestling from here. Hector gave me the jiu-jitsu, and it took off. And that was the only goal I had. I didn't graduate. I didn't do none of that. You know, so I pursued it. But then when I had a family and my wife, we got together and we had kids, and I always pursued my career and I never gave up on my dream. And that's why I'm writing my book, because my dream was to make the UFC walk. And I made the UFC walk. Now, whether I could have predicted it was going to be with or without fans, I think anybody could have ever predicted that, you know. But I think it's going to make my story greater. And when people read the book, they're really going to understand my story. I want to travel the world and do seminars teaching, you know, that amazing flying triangle, my head and arm, my Von flick, and sell my book at the same time. You get my book, you do the seminar, and then at the end, I tell you my story, my life story. You have questions. I want to be a motivational speaker, and I just tell my story and motivate other kids, especially other kids from Sand Springs, Oklahoma. I mean, we're getting bigger now, man. A lot's happened in the town since I came up as a kid, and I want to be a main story of it.
No, and you definitely will, man. I mean, you have a huge story. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could write a couple of books just from the experience that you've had. I'm looking forward to that, of course. For those watching the video, www.thebrickmma.com, of course, to go to your Facebook page, your Instagram. What was it again?
The Instagram is the Brick MMA too. I changed it, got it linked up. If you hit the www.com, it does take you straight to my fan page on Facebook, but just hit the Brick MMA in my Instagram. We got that blue hashtag now. So I'll be one of the first ones to pop up, and I post a lot on Instagram. I do a lot of my videos. I am on Twitter, not as active. And then my personal Facebook, I can't even okay people no more. So
No, by all means, man. Jimmy the Brick Flick, man, I do appreciate you coming on this. Hopefully for the next one as well. There you go, man. The fight socks, brother. I do appreciate that, man.
yeah, I forgot I had to jump them on there, man. Yeah, so make sure y'all check out fightsocks.com. Check my boy out, baby.
You go, man. I appreciate you, Jimmy. I'm going to bring you in once again. Of course, that was a recap for LFA127 going on this Friday in Commerce, California. Everybody out there, the Fight Card Podcast. So next time, follow up.